What if I told you there's a Volvo 240 in Long Island with 3.2 million miles on its original engine? That's enough to drive to the moon and back 6 times. Sounds impossible, right? But it's documented, verified, and still running. While modern cars are breaking down at 80,000 miles with failed turbos and electrical nightmares, there's a secret world of classic cars with engines so bulletproof, so over-engineered, they've earned legendary status among mechanics worldwide. Today, we're counting down 12 classic cars with engines that refuse to die, refuse to quit, and laugh at planned obsolescence. Stick around, because number 1 houses an engine that's literally immortal. Number 12, Volvo 240, 1974 to 1993. The Volvo 240 with the legendary B230 F2.3-liter inline-4, producing 114 horsepower, represents Swedish engineering at its most pragmatic and indestructible. This wasn't designed to be fast or exciting. It was engineered to survive Swedish winters, deliver absolute safety, and run forever with minimal maintenance. The result is a sedan that feels agricultural, but delivers reliability that embarrasses modern luxury brands. Paired with either a robust 4-speed automatic or bulletproof manual transmission, the 240 became the default choice for people who valued longevity over style. Here's what makes the B230F legendary. Volvo designed this engine with massive tolerances, cast iron construction, and simplicity that prioritizes durability over performance. The SOHC head is straightforward, the fuel injection is reliable Bosch K-Jetronic, and every component was tested to survive extreme conditions. Owners routinely report 500,000 plus miles with nothing more than timing belt replacements every 50,000 miles and basic maintenance. The world record holder crossed 3.2 million miles on the original block. That's not a typo. The chassis is equally overbuilt. McPherson struts, solid rear axle, and construction that prioritizes impact safety over weight savings. The interior is Spartan but functional, durable materials, straightforward controls, and seats that remain comfortable after decades. You're looking at $3,000 to $10,000 for clean examples, which is absurd value for this legendary reliability. The 240 proves Swedish engineering delivers when simplicity meets obsessive quality control. These sedans are investments that appreciate while providing transportation for life. But wait till you see what American muscle accomplished at number 11. Number 11, Chevrolet Camaro, 1967 to 1996. The Chevrolet small block V8, specifically the 350 cubic inch 5.7-liter V8, producing 165 to 350 plus horsepower depending on year and specification, represents American engineering at its most brilliant and enduring. This engine design traces its lineage back to 1955, refined over 4 decades into one of the most reliable, most tunable, most legendary power plants in automotive history. Installed in everything from Camaros and Corvettes to trucks and boats, the small block Chevy earned its reputation through sheer indestructibility and performance potential. What makes the small block legendary? It's a pushrod V8 with simplicity as its superpower. No overhead cams to service, no variable valve timing to fail, just proven American iron-making torque from idle. The block is cast iron or aluminum depending on application, internals are robust, and aftermarket support is infinite. Owners routinely report 300,000 plus miles with nothing more than head gasket replacements and basic maintenance. The engine note is that distinctive American V8 rumble, deep, mechanical, and intoxicating. The versatility is extraordinary. Need 500 horsepower? Bolt on a carburetor and headers. Want reliability? Keep it stock with fuel injection. The small block responds to modifications better than any engine ever designed, which explains why it dominated racing for decades. Parts availability is unlimited, and any mechanic can service it. You're looking at $8,000 to $30,000 plus dollars for clean Camaros or Corvettes, depending on year and condition. The small block proves American engineering delivers when they nail the fundamentals. This engine will outlive everything modern. But does American muscle match what German engineering accomplished? Number 10 answers that. Number 10, Mercedes-Benz W123, 1976 to 1985. The Mercedes-Benz W123, with the legendary OM6 173.0-liter 5-cylinder turbo diesel producing 120 horsepower, or the M110 2.8-liter inline-six, making 185 horsepower, represents German engineering from the era when Mercedes prioritized quality over quarterly profits. These sedans weren't just transportation, they were over-engineered masterpieces, built to survive decades of taxi service in the harshest conditions. The W123 earned legendary status by simply refusing to die, and examples with over 1 million miles are well documented worldwide. What makes the OM617 diesel legendary? Mercedes built this engine during their engineer it properly regardless of cost era. The block is incredibly robust cast iron, the mechanical injection pump is bulletproof, and every component was designed to survive 500,000 miles of continuous operation. Owners routinely report 500,000 to 1 million plus miles with nothing but injection pump rebuilds and basic maintenance. The engine is agricultural, slow, loud, and diesel clatter noisy, but it absolutely will not quit. Ever. The chassis is equally indestructible. Multi-link rear suspension delivers ride quality that feels modern, while rust-proofing from the factory means these sedans survive salt states. The interior showcases timeless German craftsmanship, premium MB-Tex vinyl that outlasts leather, real wood trim, and switches that operate with precision for decades. Build quality is extraordinary. Doors close with bank vault solidity, and panel gaps remain perfect after 300,000 miles. You're looking at $8,000 to $25,000 for excellent diesel examples, and values keep climbing as collectors recognize these as investments. The W123 represents peak Mercedes reliability, honest, robust, and built without compromise. But can German diesel match what Japanese engineering achieved? Number 9 proves it can't. Number 9, Toyota Corolla E70 E80, 1979 to 1987. The 4th and 5th generation Toyota Corolla, with engines ranging from the 3TC 1.8-liter inline-4 producing 75 horsepower to the legendary 4AGE 1.6-liter inline-4 making 112 to 130 horsepower, represents Japanese engineering's commitment to building economical transportation that lasts forever. These weren't exciting cars. The base models were agricultural transportation appliances, but they delivered reliability that embarrassed luxury brands costing 3 times as much. The 4AGE-equipped models, however, offered genuine performance with legendary durability. What makes these engines legendary? Toyota designed them with simplicity and longevity as primary goals. The 3TC is a straightforward SOHC design with carbureted fuel delivery and engineering that prioritizes durability. Owners routinely report 400,000 plus miles with nothing but timing belt replacements and basic maintenance. The 4AGE is more sophisticated. DOHC, 16 valves, individual throttle bodies, yet equally reliable. This engine revs to 7,800 RPM with enthusiasm that feels modern, delivering a driving experience that made the AE86 Corolla a cult legend. The chassis is simple but effective. McPherson struts, solid rear axle on base models or independent rear on sportier versions, and construction that prioritizes rust resistance. The interior is Spartan, vinyl and cloth materials that survive decades without degradation. Parts availability remains excellent through Toyota's legendary parts network. You're looking at $3,000 to $25,000 plus depending on model, with AE86 examples commanding premium prices due to cult status. These Corollas prove Japanese engineering delivers when simplicity meets quality control. Find a rust-free example and you've got transportation for life. But does Toyota reliability match what's coming at number 8? Keep watching. Number 8, BMW E30, 1982 to 1994. The BMW E33 series, with engines ranging from the M22.5-liter inline-six producing 168 horsepower to the legendary S14 2.3-liter inline-4 making 192 horsepower in M3 specification, represents BMW engineering at its most pure and driver-focused. This Generation 3 series wasn't about luxury. It was about delivering the perfect balance of performance, handling, and reliability that defined ultimate driving machine. These sedans and coupes earned cult status not just for dynamics, but for durability that modern BMWs can't approach. What makes the M20 Inline-Six legendary? It's one of BMW's most most reliable engines ever. SOHC design with simplicity, cast iron block with aluminum head, and engineering that prioritizes longevity. Owners routinely report 300,000 plus miles, with nothing more than timing belt replacements every 60,000 miles and basic maintenance. The engine note is that distinctive BMW Inline-Six smoothness, refined, mechanical, and intoxicating. The S14 in the M3 is more exotic. DOHC, 16 valves, racing pedigree, yet surprisingly durable when maintained properly. The chassis is what made the E30 legendary. Perfect 50-50 weight distribution, McPherson struts front and rear, and steering that delivers feedback modern BMWs abandoned for comfort. The driving experience remains engaging even today. This sedan handles like a sports car while maintaining practicality. Interior quality is excellent. Durable cloth or leather, real wood trim in higher specs, and build quality that ages gracefully. You're looking at $8,000 to $60,000 plus depending on model and condition, with clean M3 examples commanding serious money. The E30 proves BMW could build reliable, engaging cars when engineering mattered more than profit margins. But does German sport match what American trucks achieved? Number 7 answers that. Number 7. Ford F-150-300. Inline-Six, 1965 to 1996. The Ford 300 cubic inch 4.9-liter inline-six, producing 145 to 150 horsepower, represents American truck engineering at its most pragmatic and indestructible. This engine powered Ford F-Series trucks for over 3 decades, earning legendary status as one of the most reliable power plants ever installed in a production vehicle. This wasn't about performance. The 300 inline-six was agricultural, slow, and deliberately simple, but it delivered torque and longevity that embarrassed more sophisticated engines costing twice as much. What makes the 300 inline-six legendary? The inline configuration is inherently balanced, reducing vibration and stress on components. Ford built this engine with cast iron construction, massive displacement per cylinder, and engineering that prioritized durability over efficiency. Owners routinely report 400,000 to 500,000 plus miles, with nothing more than head gasket replacements, around 250,000 miles, and basic maintenance. The torque delivery is perfect for truck duty, loads of low-end grunt that pulls heavy loads without complaint. The F-150 platform around this engine is equally robust. Body-on-frame construction, solid rear axle, and simplicity that means everything is fixable with basic tools. These trucks served as work vehicles for contractors, farmers, and fleet operators who demanded reliability over flash. The interior is Spartan but functional. Vinyl bench seats, straightforward controls, and air conditioning that works for decades. You're looking at $4,000 to $12,000 for solid examples. The 300 inline-six proves simplicity equals longevity. Find a rust-free example, and you've got a truck that will outlive modern aluminum-bodied F-150s. But does American truck engineering match what Japanese sports cars achieved? Number 6 will surprise you. Number 6. Mazda MX-5 Miata, 1990 to 2005. The first and second generation Mazda MX-5 Miata with the B6ZE 1.6-liter inline-4 producing 116 horsepower, or the BP 1.8-liter inline-4 making 131 to 142 horsepower, represents Japanese engineering's commitment to building affordable sports cars that actually last. These weren't powerful. Modern minivans are faster, but they delivered driving purity and reliability that made them the best-selling sports car in history. The Miata proved you don't need big power to have fun, just proper engineering and perfect balance. What makes the B6/BP engines legendary? Mazda designed these inline-4s with simplicity and reliability as core principles. DOHC, 16 valves, and engineering that prioritizes smooth power delivery over peak horsepower. Owners routinely report 250,000 plus miles with nothing more than timing belt replacements every 60,000 miles and basic maintenance. The engines rev freely to 7,000 plus RPM with enthusiasm that never gets old. delivering a driving experience that feels engaging at any speed. The chassis is what made the Miata legendary. Perfect 50-50 weight distribution, double wishbone suspension all around, and steering that delivers feedback most modern sports cars can't match. The driving experience is pure joy. This roadster handles like a go-kart while maintaining surprising practicality. The interior is simple but functional, durable materials, straightforward controls, and a manual top that operates in seconds. You're looking at $5,000 to $15,000 for clean examples depending on generation and mileage. The Miata proves sports cars can be reliable, affordable, and genuinely fun. But does Japanese sports car engineering match what's coming at number 5? Keep watching. Number 5. Honda Civic CRX 1988 to 1991. The fourth generation Honda Civic and CRX, with engines ranging from the D15 1.5-liter inline-4 producing 92 horsepower to the legendary B16A 1.6-liter inline-4 making 160 horsepower, represents Honda engineering at its most brilliant and pure. These weren't just economical transportation, they were perfectly balanced machines that delivered engagement, efficiency, and reliability that embarrassed cars costing twice as much. The B16A equipped models introduced VTEC to America, creating a cult following that persists decades later. What makes these engines legendary? Honda designed them when they still prioritized naturally aspirated perfection over turbocharged shortcuts. The D15 is simple, efficient, and virtually indestructible. Owners routinely report 300,000 plus miles with nothing but timing belt replacements and basic maintenance. The B16A is more exotic. DOHC, 16 valves, VTEC variable valve timing, revving to 8,000 RPM with a sound that makes enthusiasts weep. Power delivery is intoxicating, smooth until 5,800 RPM, then VTEC engages and the engine transforms into a high revving screamer. The chassis is brilliant despite simplicity. Double wishbone suspension all around, lightweight construction, and balance that makes these Civics dance through corners. The CRX weighs under 2,200 pounds, giving it a power-to-weight ratio that embarrasses modern hot hatches. Interior quality is excellent. Durable cloth materials, straightforward controls, and ergonomics that prioritize driver engagement. You're looking at $4,000 to $25,000 plus, depending on model and condition, with clean CRX Sci and VTEC models commanding premium prices. These Hondas prove lightweight and simplicity create timeless driving pleasure. But does Honda engineering match what American V8s achieved? Number 4 answers that. Number 4, Chevrolet Caprice Impala SS 1991 to 1996. The final generation, Chevrolet Caprice and Impala SS with the LT1 5.7-liter V8 producing 260 to 300 horsepower, represents the last great American body-on-frame sedan built without compromise. This wasn't just a police cruiser. It was a rear-wheel drive muscle sedan that delivered performance, space, and reliability that modern sedans can't match. The Impala SS in particular became a cult legend, combining Corvette powertrains with sedan practicality in a package that looks menacing even today. What makes the LT1 engine legendary? It's an evolution of the legendary small-block Chevy Phi-8, refined with modern fuel injection, aluminum heads, and reverse-flow cooling that eliminates hot spots. Owners routinely report 200,000 to 300,000 plus miles with nothing more than OptiSpark distributor replacements and basic maintenance. The torque is intoxicating. 330 pound-feet in Impala SS specification feels like unlimited passing power. The engine note is that classic small-block rumble that sounds purposeful and American. The chassis is deliberately old-school. Body-on-frame construction, solid rear axle, and suspension tuned for highway cruising rather than canyon carving. The Impala SS received stiffer springs and shocks, transforming the platform into a genuine muscle sedan. Interior quality is surprisingly good. Comfortable bench seats, durable materials, and space for 6 adults. These sedans served as police cruisers and taxi fleets, proving their durability under severe service. You're looking at $8,000 to $25,000+ for clean Impala SS examples, and values keep climbing as collectors recognize these as the last traditional American muscle sedans. The LT1 proves American V8s deliver when engineering focuses on proven designs. But does American muscle match what's coming at number 3? Absolutely not. Number 3. Lexus LS400, 1990 to 2000. The first and second generation Lexus LS400 with the legendary one, UZFE 4.0-liter V8, producing 250 to 290 horsepower, represents Japanese engineering at its most obsessive and flawless. When Toyota launched Lexus to challenge German luxury, they didn't just build a good car, they engineered a V8 sedan so perfect, so whisper quiet, so indestructible, that it humiliated Mercedes and BMW while costing less to maintain than a Honda Accord. This engine is the automotive equivalent of a Swiss watch, perfectly balanced, obsessively refined, and built to last centuries. What makes the one UZFE legendary? Toyota tested each engine for hundreds of hours before installation, balancing components so precisely the V8 could idle with a champagne glass balanced on the valve cover without spilling. Engineering borders on obsessive, forged internals, direct ignition, variable valve timing, and tolerances tighter than German competitors. Owners routinely report 500,000+ miles with nothing but timing belt replacements every 90,000 miles and basic maintenance. The engine note is a refined whisper that sounds expensive and sophisticated. The LS400 chassis is equally brilliant. Double wishbone suspension all around, construction that eliminates vibration completely, and ride quality that remains supple after 300,000 miles. The interior showcases timeless luxury, premium leather, real wood trim, and build quality that ages gracefully over decades. Electronics that were revolutionary in 1990 still function flawlessly today. You're looking at $5,000 to $18,000 for excellent examples. The One UZ engine's reputation is so legendary that enthusiasts swap them into everything: hot rods, drift cars, boats. The LS400 represents peak Japanese over-engineering. But can Toyota's luxury match what pure sports car engineering achieved? Number 2 answers that. Number 2, Porsche 911, air-cooled, 1963 to 1998. The air-cooled Porsche 911 with flat-six engines ranging from 2.0 to 3.8 liters, producing 110 to 300+ horsepower, represents automotive engineering at its most unique, most passionate, and most enduring. For 35 years, Porsche refined the same basic engine design, air-cooled, horizontally opposed, rear-mounted, into one of the most reliable, most tunable, most legendary power plants in sports car history. This wasn't just an engine, it was Porsche's soul, the mechanical heart that defined what a 911 meant. What makes the air-cooled flat-six legendary? Porsche's obsessive engineering and continuous refinement created an engine that combines racing pedigree with surprising reliability. No coolant systems to fail, no water pumps to replace, just precision-machined aluminum, forged internals, and engineering that prioritizes durability. Owners report 200,000 to 300,000+ miles when maintained properly, and these engines handle track abuse that destroys lesser motors. The sound is intoxicating. That distinctive flat-six howl climbing toward redline is automotive poetry. The 911 chassis evolved continuously while maintaining core principles. Rear engine layout creates unique handling characteristics that demand respect but reward skill. Build quality is extraordinary. German precision engineering means everything fits perfectly and ages gracefully. Later models like the 993 generation, 1994 to 1998, represent the pinnacle, sophisticated enough for daily driving while maintaining analog purity. You're looking at $40,000 to $200,000 plus, depending on model and condition, with values climbing annually. Air-cooled 911s are investments that appreciate while providing driving pleasure modern cars can't match. But one engine surpasses even this legendary flat-six. Number 1 is the most reliable engine ever built. Number 1, Toyota Land Cruiser FJ40 FJ60, 1960 to 1987. The most legendary, most indestructible, most unkillable engine ever installed in a classic vehicle is the Toyota F-Series Inline-Six, specifically the 2F 4.2-liter Inline-Six, producing 135 horsepower, powering the iconic FJ40 and FJ60 Land Cruiser. This engine represents Japanese over-engineering taken to its absolute extreme, designed to survive conditions that destroy everything else. There are documented F engines exceeding 1 million miles in military service, desert operations, and jungle expeditions where failure meant death. This isn't just reliable, it's immortal. What makes the F engine legendary? Toyota designed it as a working engine for third-world countries where maintenance might be questionable and parts availability non-existent. Cast iron block and head, massive displacement per cylinder, and engineering tolerances that prioritize simplicity over efficiency. Owners routinely report 500,000 to 750,000 plus miles with nothing but basic maintenance. The engine is agricultural, slow, loud, and mechanically noisy, but it absolutely will not die regardless of abuse. Overheating, keeps running, missed oil changes, still operates. Driven through rivers, no problem. The FJ40/FJ60 chassis is equally indestructible. Body-on-frame construction, solid axles front and rear, and simplicity that means everything is serviceable with basic tools in remote locations. These Land Cruisers served in every conflict zone, every mining operation, every expedition where reliability was life or death. Interior is Spartan, vinyl seats, washable floors, mechanical controls. You're looking at $40,000 to $150,000 plus for excellent examples. The F engine represents absolute peak reliability, vehicles that refuse to die regardless of conditions. This engine will outlive civilization itself. This is automotive immortality. Never sell it. And there you have it. 12 classic cars with eternal engines that refuse to quit, refuse to die, and laugh at modern planned obsolescence. These represent engineering from an era when manufacturers built engines to last generations, not just warranties. Thanks for watching SUV Detective, where we celebrate automotive legends that earned their status through decades of proven reliability. If you loved this, check out our video on classic trucks that crossed 500,000 miles. You won't believe what still runs. Click that now, and remember, real engineering doesn't need software updates to be legendary.